How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Everyone's having a lovely day. We're talking a little Ohio State Buckeyes football, but more importantly, the future of the Cincinnati Bengals potentially here. Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, two guys you look at on this Bengals or Ohio State Buckeyes defensive line that you would just be more than happy, I think, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals or any team here, to be happy to have these guys on your football team, especially if they fall to you in the second round. Jack Sawyer, he comes out recruiting. First of all, number one recruited defensive end in his class as far as that's concerned. And it was like, is he going to figure it out? Kind of a slow grower. Took a while to start making an impact, but boy, here we are, final year in college, about to enter the NFL draft, and you talk about a guy that has finally figured it out. You talk about a guy that I want on my football team. That is none other than Jack Sawyer. And I tell you what, this kind of reminds me of CJ Stroud. There was the ups, the downs. And then all of a sudden, Georgia comes around and he tears them to pieces. Jack Sawyer kind of in the same boat here. If you just watch the way he played the first 8 games of the season, you may be very indifferent, whatever. But when the moments are the biggest, when the opponents are the toughest, he comes and he plays like none other. We talk about the ever so coveted closer on a defense. Nothing bigger, nothing more important to have, and nothing more difficult to come across than a guy that is the closer. Von Miller comes to mind in a big way where, very few times you literally just depend on your defense and the defense to make a big play to end a football game in a way that Broncos team did with Von Miller. And you watch now Jack Sawyer in his last 4 football games, 2 sacks against Oregon, 1.5 sacks against Tennessee. Let's go back to Michigan. Ohio State lost, but we get to the 4th quarter, a long drive down the field. Michigan has a chance to really pull away. Jack Sawyer gets the interception at the goal line. Buckeyes get the ball. Buckeyes get the chance to go down the field and win the football game. They don't do it, but Jack Sawyer on defense puts them in a position making the big play. Let's fast forward to Texas. The Longhorns. Ohio State versus Texas. Texas has a chance. Ohio State has a chance to go to the national championship game against Notre Dame. Texas comes into this game. Cam Williams, Calvin Banks, 2 of the top tackles in all of college football, both projected to go inside the top 25 of the draft. Number 1 ranked pass blocking unit in the league in all of college football, according to Pro Football Focus. No easy matchup for these Buckeye edge rushers. It's easy. And this is why I say the big moments are ever so important. The big games, the big teams, the tough teams are ever so important. Because it's easy. I could run for 500 yards at Boise State against that schedule. Just tell me what direction to go. I'm not going to go very fast. I'm probably going to fall down a lot. I'll tell you right now, though, the holes are that big, the teams are that weak. It's easy to be a powerhouse. It's easy to make those highlight plays. It's easy to look good. When you got all the time in the world to throw the football, easy to look good. When the offensive line is giving you 3 yards before you even get touched, easy to look good. But when you're playing premier versus premier, best in class versus best in class, and then your good players stand out. In this situation, Jack Sawyer, JT, both of them living in the backfield all football game. JT, love him, be happy to have him on the team, but Jack is the man we are focusing on today because, again, we talked about the closer. The last 2 football games Ohio State has played that have actually been close. Michigan, Texas. Michigan, Jack makes a big play. Interception at the goal line, none bigger. This one, Texas, gets the football at the 2-yard line. Penalty. 2 pass interferences in the end zone. 2-yard line. They end up with 5 chances to score, starting with the ball at the 2-yard line. And this Buckeyes defense, once again, living in the backfield, making the big stops, making the stops on the ground, getting the quarterback, making him lose some yardage, whatever. You get the 4th down. Play the game. Jack Sawyer gets to the backfield, the strip sack, not only gets the strip sack, picks up the fumble, takes it to the house. Reminiscence of the fumble in the jungle. Jack Sawyer closes it out again. And if it is me, that is the exact type of football player I want on my football team. The guys that when the moment is the biggest, when the lights are the brightest, come to play, come to make the big plays. Nothing more important to me. Again, I love Chase Young. I loved everything about him. Crazy looking back saying he was competitive with Joe Burrow for the Heisman, but that guy was in the Heisman voting because he was living in the backfield of opposing defenses all season. But guess what happened? Your 3 biggest games of the season, Michigan, Clemson, who the heck was it? Was it Wisconsin? Final 3 games of the season. Chase Young was unheard of. Chase Young was clamped down. Not an impact. No sacks in any of those games. After a dominant season, no sacks. Still ends up being top pick in a draft. You know? And guess what happens? He's still in the league, but he's nothing. He's nothing for what people thought he would have been. And again, the red flags were there. Look at the big games. How has this guy played in the big games? And when you look at how Jack Sawyer has played in the big games, against the tough teams, against the powerhouse teams, and he has stood out in every single one of them, boy, I tell you what, yeah, if he plays like he's played these last 4 games against Notre Dame, there's a good chance. It sounds crazy. People are saying if he could go, Bengals would be happy to take him in the second round. There's a good chance he don't make it to 17. I would be shocked if he made it to, what is that, 49? 17th pick in a second round. It might be further than that because the compensatory picks, it's somewhere around there. I'd be shocked if he's in the 40s and 50s come the second round. And I'm looking at this and saying, is it worth it if you're the Bengals? 17% win rate, pass rush win rate. What are the tops in the league? Most people look at him and say dominant run stopper. He's actually winning a lot of the line of scrimmage, rushing the passer, making plays. Could end up being a very complete edge rusher. Could end up being a very big piece, a very complimentary player to Trey Hendrickson. And could you imagine if this Bengals defensive front has 2 guys to worry about and all the focus isn't on Trey Hendrickson? You could turn around this defense. There is nothing more that could turn this Bengals defense around than getting a premier pass rusher that can also be effective in stopping the run. How the Bengals come across that, I can't tell you the answer to that. I can tell you that is the number 1 answer. Because if you can stop the run more effectively, force those 3rd and longs, and then you get 2 premier pass rushers, you can't double cover both of them. 2 premier pass rushers on 3rd and long, that's going to make the rest of the lives of the secondary so much easier. Instant impact change. And I tell you what, if you believe Jack Sawyer can be that guy, as crazy as it sounds, you could make the case for grabbing him at 17. It is early. Lots could change. Maybe some PR thing comes up that's bad. Maybe he has a great combine. Maybe he take a time to look at the tape the next couple months and he soars in the draft. Maybe he falls and this is just overhyping him right now. But I tell you what, right now, watching the way this man plays, it feels like he's a very, very valuable piece to a football team moving forward. The question is, at what point in the draft do you say worth it versus passing up on X or Y or Z? Nonetheless, as always, if you enjoyed the video, I appreciate you liking and subscribing. You never have to. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.